Introduction: a new chapter in U.S.-Japan relations forged through a BBQ. About a week ago, a single barbecue photo exploded on X, reaching tens of millions of views. The content itself was simple: an American grilling large amounts of meat and a Japanese user commenting, "I like this kind of scene. I'd love to join someday." That was it. But this post didn't stop there. It triggered a massive wave of interaction across X, drawing in users from both Japan and the United States, creating chains of posts and reactions, and eventually evolving into a large-scale cultural exchange. So, why did this happen? The starting point. As mentioned, everything began with a single post from a Japanese user. In response to a photo of an American barbecue, they simply wrote, "I like this kind of thing. I want to experience it someday." No criticism, no analysis, just a straightforward expression of interest and admiration. And yet, this small comment triggered an unusually large response. First wave: American reactions. Americans responded immediately and in large numbers. "Come over. We'll do it at my place. This isn't anything special." Along with these replies, they began posting their own barbecue photos directly to Japanese users. What matters here is the nature of the response. There was no correction, no dismissal, no attempt to assert cultural superiority. Instead, they presented their culture as something to be shared and welcomed others into it. This is fundamentally different from how most viral moments spread on social media, not through conflict, but through acceptance. And that felt new to both sides. Second wave: chain reaction. From here, the phenomenon accelerated. Americans began posting barbecue photos specifically for Japanese audiences. Massive Texas-style briskets, Carolina pulled pork, backyard grilling setups, weekend family gatherings. Each post became a way of showing their culture. As a result, a single post turned into a structure that generated countless derivatives. At the same time, Japanese users didn't just observe, they actively enjoyed and engaged with it. At this point, it was no longer a one-way viral post. It became a two-way flow. Third wave: cultural expansion. This movement didn't stop at barbecue. Americans began sharing more: food culture, daily life, regional traditions, personal values. Meanwhile, Japanese users responded with curiosity, empathy, surprise, and even sharing their own culture in return. What started with barbecue expanded into a broader cultural exchange. Why it happened. 1. Visual power. At its core, the trigger was simple. The image itself was extremely strong. The sheer volume of meat, fire and smoke, people silently focused on cooking. It required no explanation. It could be understood instantly, without language. In other words, this post was inherently built to cross borders. Why it happened. 2. The ideal America. For Japanese users, this wasn't just a barbecue. What they saw was something else: an idealized image of America. Boldness, simplicity, a sense of freedom. These elements align with familiar cultural images: Southern culture, cowboys, American cars, country music. In other words, these photos gave concrete form to an abstract idea of America. Why it happened. 3. American psychology. Another key factor was the American response. Many Americans reacted strongly to the fact that Japanese users viewed their culture positively. In recent years, interactions with other countries often involve criticism, sarcasm, or conflict. But this time was different. Both sides responded honestly to a simple statement: "I like this." As a result, pride and hospitality were expressed at the same time, and that accelerated the spread dramatically. Why it happened. 4. Platform mechanics. This phenomenon was also enabled by changes in X itself. Posts in different languages are now automatically translated and shown more naturally. This made it easier for Japanese posts to reach English-speaking audiences, English posts to reach Japanese users. Combined with image-based content, reply chains, and inflow from large English-speaking audiences, all the conditions for massive spread were in place. Conclusion. The core of this phenomenon was not cultural difference. It was the alignment of two things: affection and pride. Japanese users responded with admiration, Americans responded with openness, and shared their culture in return. The result was not just a viral post, but a rare case where soft power between Japan and the United States worked naturally and effectively, not through governments or policies, but through a single post and the reactions that followed. In a time when cross-cultural interaction often leads to division, this kind of moment is increasingly rare, and perhaps something worth paying attention to.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Deep Focus Japan for more videos on Japanese society and current issues.